This is my continuing page on my support for Ron Paul. Like I was saying earlier, we now finally have a president that can bring dignity and honor back to the White House. The same kind of dignity we had back when the country first started, when presidents, the first 4 presidents of the United States, honored the 2 most important documents: the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights thereafter, and lived by those words because they understood sacrifice and what the first Americans paid for to make the freedoms that we have enjoyed for close to over 200 years enjoy. Not to continuously have presidents to sign, administrations and presidents to sign bill after bill after bill that take away liberties. It's hard to believe that when you have people say, I was more freer 20 years ago than I am today. Life was much simpler back then. People 50 years ago were saying how they could, when you watch old TV land flicks of how moms could stay home, fathers could make plenty of money. Even my old buddy Irwin Schiff said back when he was growing up, his father was a carpenter. He made enough money in those days to support a family of 11. And mom never had to go out to work. There was enough money made by dad to raise an entire family of 11. Today, a lot of people can't raise a family on 2 with 2 people, with both the mother and the father working, because of the way the government has been handled over the years. We now pay over 70% taxes on our own money. 70% goes straight to the government in one form or another, either in sales taxes, hidden bill taxes, or in the criminal income taxes, where Americans fork over up to 68% of their, for a person making $14 an hour, giving over $8,000 a year to the IRS, maybe even more considering local income taxes. But for federal and states, 68% of what you make every year is going straight to them, and another 10% over that is handling your day-for-day taxes. So why else would you have a family of 4 just about taking everybody just to make a living of what one used to make? I believe if Ron Paul was to be elected to president, and we were to get a House and Senate to follow, people to be elected in the Congress and the House to pass legislation that Ron Paul would impose to return America back to America. To once again, when you put your right hand on your chest and you look up at the stars and stripes, you look at the American flag, you look at that American flag back there, and have a swell in your heart knowing what it truly stands for. Where no longer is that flag to be desecrated. People would have no need to burn the flag anymore, because it will stand for freedom of speech without burning it. Where once again the world will respect us, because not only because we're no longer going to be nation builders, lapdogs for United Nations. We'll once again reclaim our sovereignty, do away with the fraudulent Federal Reserve System, and go back to the currency that made this country great. National currency that has sustained us for 187 years, until a fraudulent Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act that forever put us in permanent bankruptcy. Money no longer backed by gold or silver like it once was, but little no more than tokens. No more than monopoly money. Not backed on nothing. And losing every day. No more will you have to have your husbands and wives having to make a two-income family just to make what one used to make, or half of what one used to make, when it takes 4 families to live in one house where it used to take only one, where housing is so skyrocketing because of this so-called inflation, devaluing of the dollar, that I remember living in California where it took 4 families, and that was not small. 4 families just to live in a 3-bedroom house. And struggling just to make it then. Face it, America, we are living in a new era of slavery. Now we got these presidents to sign these so-called Patriot Acts and Children's Acts, using children's names. But when you read in between the lines, they do less to protect children and more to encourage, like the so-called Megan and Jessica laws, putting people's faces for violating their rights to double jeopardy. Where now the new wave on crime is, if you commit a crime, you have to go 10 years. What's going to be next? Murder databases? Like if you're committed of a driving offense, are you going to have to be on the local speeding registry, drunk driving registry, seatbelt registry? Let's go. Why not go for it all? I have no problem if they put a sex offender, especially a pedophile, for the rest of their life in prison, or even execute them. It has no problem with me. But once a person, be it man or woman, serves their time, pays back society for what they took away, and completes their sentence, they should be allowed the same rights and privileges of anybody else who's done their time. Not have your face thrown up on the World Wide Web as you're a bad person for the rest of your life. If that's being the case, then they should never leave prison. But if they do get a chance to, they should be responsible for their own actions. If they do it again, never let them out. But don't keep constantly taking away rights, making people wear future, like in the movie Casino Royale, where you have to wear a chip right about here. And from now on, everyone's tracked. That's where we're heading to. And I guarantee you, if you elect any of the others but Ron Paul, if you refuse to elect Ron Paul, and this is going out to all the so-called conservatives out there, if you elect anybody other than Ron Paul, you might as well say your votes are wasted. Because if you get a McCain, a Giuliani, or any of those other losers up there, you might as well say either you're going to put in another George Bush or you're going to put in another Hillary Clinton. All the way around, you're going to find at the end of 4 years, you're going to look back on this 4 years as, you know what? I had more freedom 4 years ago than I did today. I felt more freer. Face it. Face that, America.